And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Next Round Sports. As we've been on a hiatus here with some sickness and vacationing, but we're all back together. Got the band back together once again, and we're ready to talk some sports and catch up with everyone. So thank you, everyone, for joining us back here again. This is Chris Porter with Caleb Culver and Jeff Amos. How you doing tonight, gentlemen?
Ready for football.
Yeah, good to be back, and we're just a couple weeks away from football, so not even for the college football season, as there is
That
some
is
week zero
right.
action this
Mm-hmm.
Football season is upon us. We're very excited about that. That is the rest of the world is. But as we are in waiting for football season, we are still trudging through Major League Baseball. And
week.
for Ranger fans, it hasn't been the season we all hoped for. I mean, injuries will get you. That's just part of it right there. But that's go. Well, the first segment we'll go ahead and start out with is: Are the Rangers in or out?
Oh, they're out. They've been out.
Oh yeah. The
I mean,
season, as
they're
far as
over 10. Yeah, they're over 10
Technically,
behind
they're not out
the
yet.
third
They're
wild
not
card.
eliminated.
oh
They're not
god,
eliminated until that E gets
Well, when
checked
you could
next.
only tell me the historically bad team, the White Sox, is the only team officially eliminated,
In
yeah,
the
okay.
entire majors. That's the only team that's out. The
stop it.
only team. No national team is out. Your
I
nationals
mean, the
still are not out.
Padres might actually make it this year, but the Rangers are out.
Well, until
Yeah,
I see that E, I'm not giving up on it.
Do what you want. I mean, I'm cheering for them all the way. Don't get me wrong, but
Doesn't sound like it.
I know they out. This is gonna be like another one of those. Like, okay, we're going to
You're
the
the
games to
fan.
have fun.
Well, I'm very used to that because that's all we ever did growing
Yes.
up in Texas was just go to games for the fun of it because you can get
Mm-hmm.
your dollar hot dog nights or your cheap beer or the all you could eat
Yeah.
seat and just go have a blast and watch the Red Sox bash our brains in.
Yeah.
Sit there and watch Poppy hit like 2 home runs in one game.
Yeah.
Like,
The '90s Yankees continue their craziness.
exactly. But yes, the Rangers are not technically out, but yeah, it's going to be rough. The way Houston's been playing,
Yeah. They've
continued
almost got to go
injuries.
on a winning streak to win every game next month.
They do. And this Thursday, Jacob DeGrom, he's
Mhm.
getting a spot start down in Frisco.
yes he
How
is,
do you
and
guys
Max
feel about
Scherzer.
that? DeGrom on possibly getting some starts here at the end of the season.
If
It's yeah.
I
I mean,
mean,
it's
if
not
he's healthy enough
bad.
to do it, then by all means,
Yeah, give him some
the
start. But I mean,
It is, but
Scherzer's
the
got some
season's
arm
over.
soreness or something.
If DeGrom's healthy enough to come back, even if the season's gone down tubes, getting those starts in is going to hurt. He hasn't pitched in 2 years, so it's hey, give him the shot. I'm all for that as long as he's healthy to pitch. I don't want he doesn't need to be forced out there, especially if the season's going to go ahead and be over. Then
Yeah.
it just needs to be rehab starts, and that's basically what it should be treated as is just rehab starts. Let him get out there. I mean, after he's pitched a couple of games, give him 5, 6 innings, but just seeing how he does, stretch him out. But I'm not gonna with Mike Maddox and Bruce Bochy. I'm not gonna question that they're gonna rush him back by any means.
no, yeah, I mean,
Fair
I don't,
enough.
yeah, I don't think this is there would be, and you have to remember too, Chris Young would, as a pitcher, would never allow this to happen either. So I think all sides point to him, to this being kind of a normal route to get back to the big leagues, and I don't think they're forcing anything at all. And I think that goes for Scherzer as well. And it'll be interesting to see them both potentially start in the month of September. Yeah, the season, 99.6% chance of it being over at that point, or
Hmm.
at this point, really.
So you're
But
saying there's a chance.
there is a 0.4% chance according
Right.
to ESPN playoff probability right now.
And there's a
But it'll be at least an excuse to see some Ranger baseball. during the week when we don't have football to worry about. So
Right now, I think there's another reason to be watching Ranger baseball, and that's Corey Seager. 'Cause
yes,
he has just been tearing the cover off the
Well,
ball.
don't forget Young and Wyatt Langford. At least the young guns are showing out as well.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's
Yeah,
looking
Josh
good
Young's
to start
coming
the
back.
next
He
year.
has been looking really good since he came back.
hmm
yeah, but just like Seager is just at a whole another level. Even when this
Oh
team
yeah,
is completely out of contention, he continues to demonstrate why he's one of the best players in baseball. I mean, as a shortstop, hitting 28 home runs and getting on base as frequently as he does, this guy is incredible. He is worth every single penny of his 10-year, $300 million deal or whatever it was.
I heard a stat today that he goes ahead and hits 2 more home runs and gets 30. He'll be the 6th shortstop to hit 30 home runs in 3 consecutive seasons.
Yeah, that's just unheard of. I mean, and then
The last
all
person to do it, Alex Rodriguez.
yeah, there you go. Probably not because of the steroids, but would be Hall of
Wink,
Famer.
wink.
But yeah, I mean, just legendary players doing that. I mean, and Corey Seager is a legend, or he's approaching that territory.
he's approaching. Yeah, he's approaching that territory for sure.
And he's got
And
2 World Series, two World Series MVPs.
and
That's good to get him on the cusp.
yeah, I mean, he's in my opinion, on his way to having a Hall of Fame career. The only thing that could perhaps prevent him is, he hasn't always been the most healthy guy in the world. I mean, if
Yeah.
he was just a smidge more healthy last year, he would have won the MVP, AL MVP for sure, in my opinion.
Very true.
Oh,
And also too, it didn't help that you're going against Otani and that as well. But
Well, Tony's the National League's problem now.
yeah, and who's on his way to win another MVP this year? So
hmm It's crazy, but yeah, like I said, Seager is just approaching that status of being the next Hall of Famer for the Texas Rangers to go in.
Now, going along with guys that are still on the team, because we do have an ex-Ranger to bring up here a little bit later on. We'll tease there. Adolis Garcia, how are you guys? Do you think he's going to be with the team next season? Do you think they're going to go ahead and keep him? Or is he going to be traded? Is he going to leave? What are your guys' thoughts on Adolis and his possibility of staying with the team?
I think he's got 1 year left on the arbitration. So I think he's got 1 year under contract left, if I remember right. So I think he stays, but then he'll probably walk after that, either into retirement or he'll walk for more money.
Is if okay, Lord forbid, there's sellers again next year, and his bats actually coming up to trade deadline. Actually, he's actually hitting the ball. Actually,
I think you could have got some decent amount for him this year, even, which even with the down year, especially following the year he had last time. But yeah, if they're sellers again, ideally you probably sell him because he's going to be what, 37, 38
at that time. He'll be
no, Adolis is only 31 right now.
Oh, 31. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm blowing that one out of the water.
We looked it up this weekend, and
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, he's really old. He's old. He should be near retirement. I look it up and goes 31, and my wife goes,
Right.
I'm older than him. That's weird. Sorry, my bad.
But no, I think what I'm kind of pleased. One of the positives of the month of August for the Rangers is how well Adolis has been playing. I mean, he's played really, really well. He's hit the ball a lot better. He's hitting 328 in the month of August, has the home runs 2 with 3. He's looked like the old Adolis this month, albeit the Rangers are out of it. But
I mean, I'm personally expecting a bounce back next year. That's why I'm thinking you're keeping Adolis for sure.
And the thing
at least through the entire season, along with Seager and Young and the way Wyatt has played.
He'll be on the Rangers. Yeah, he'll be at least on the Rangers, or he'll be on the Rangers till at least the deadline next year, depending on where they're at.
And that's the thing, is that it was just so almost historic how many injuries this team had, that it, of course they're going to try to run it back and see what they can do. I mean, there's no reason not to, because I think the team, not just the fans, but the team kind of felt like, well, we got cheated here. We weren't supposed to have everybody out. We were supposed to be able to actually put up a defense for this title that we won, and just with Young going down, and then from there, just the slew of pitchers, everybody else going down. I mean, you're happy to get what you got this season from the team, but eventually we kept talking about it on here multiple times. Go back and watch our videos. The injury bug was going to get them, and it finally did. I mean, they were only they were able to stay near the top for a while, but you can't do that when you're pulling up minor league guys every other day. And there's talk about
although we found maybe a Jim and Josh Smith.
Possibly, yeah, so far. But we even said if Josh Smith is your best player going into the second half of the season, you're not going to do anything there. He kept you afloat there the first part of the season, but you need more contribution.
Exactly.
You can't get contributions when they're hurt.
And also, too, I'm a little concerned what's going to happen next year when we look at someone like, is Nate Eovaldi going to be here next season?
That's the question I kind of wanted to ask you guys, if y'all think he's going to be re-signed.
I think you sign back Eovaldi easily.
Easily? We saw Montgomery walk for a chump change.
Yes, because he actually thought he was going to get more than what he was actually going to get.
Right, and Boris fucked him over. That's why.
Yeah,
that's why he dropped Boris too.
Screwed him immensely. No, I think Eovaldi likes it here. I think if you can sign Nathan Eovaldi and he's your 2, possibly 3rd starter, you're looking pretty good right there, because DeGrom's going to be your number 1 if he's back and he's healthy. And he's what he can be what he was. He's one of the best pitchers in baseball, as long as he comes back.
Arguably,
he is. It's arguably. I'm not gonna say he is the best because he hasn't pitched in 2 years, but he has all the stuff to be one of the best pitchers in baseball. He's going to be your ace. That's what he is. Scherzer, you still got, and if he comes back, which if he's going to keep getting injured, he needs to sit out the rest of the season. Just sit out. Rest it up, come back strong, so you can have that as a.
I think that's what they're doing with Evan Carter too.
No, absolutely, that's what they're doing with Evan Carter. There's no reason to bring him back. Like, let Wyatt Langford get the time out there, and Carter, you just kind of just get healthy, get ready for next season. We've got you for the long term. But yeah, if you've got the 1-2 punch of DeGrom, Scherzer, and then you have Eovaldi as your 3rd, and if somebody, Lord forbid, gets injured, he's able to move into that 2nd spot. That's a pretty potent pitching lineup. I mean, and you're going to need potent pitching, especially with what Seattle's going to be running with here the next few years.
Yeah.
Their pitching is sick.
Yeah. And
it has been for a while too.
Yeah. And then the only thing, like, once again, changing subject slightly, is the Mariners have gone completely down the drain again.
The J-Rod show did not show up.
It's Seattle. That's what Seattle does.
Right.
Yeah. And now it appears that the Astros, back from the dead,
those bastards
are going to win the division, barring, I don't know.
I've already been getting revved about them winning the silver boot.
Yeah. Yeah, they've won that silver boot, I think, for 9 seasons in a row, and have just a crazy overall record with it too.
Yeah, too bad they didn't win the postseason.
Yeah, I'll take the
championship
over the silver.
Yeah,
right.
You can take 8 silver boots, and then I'll get the ALCS.
Well, before we jump off any other teams and get more into depth in those. The story came out. Adrian Beltre will be getting a statue outside of Globe Life Field.
Well deserved.
I think we've talked about a statue before, and I actually saw somebody made a great suggestion, which I think should be implemented, is that the Adrian Beltre statue should not have a hat on. That way, Ranger fans can come by and touch his head on their way into the game. And that
that's
should happen. That
That
should
could be
happen
interesting.
without a second thought.
no. So what it should be
Uh,
is like the hat should be on, and then Elvis should be the only person to like press a button or turn a key to where he could tap Adrian's head, and then there would be like a lever bringing down the hat.
In all seriousness, though, it should be the one knee.
Oh
You
yeah,
need
Yes.
to see him on one knee.
Yeah, that's my next
iconic
question.
yeah.
pose for him.
That's his
what it needs
pose.
to be. Is one knee. It's one
Mhm.
knee, and that's the only
Dallas
way.
is the Dallas/DFW area has been pretty good about making their statues between the Dirk and the Mike Madonna one they had recently.
They did, and they made him look good. It's not like it was like the Iverson statue.
Yeah,
Or
or the
Ronaldo
forever
statue.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Ronaldo. Oh,
The
good
Dirk
God.
statue was initially, the initial model of it looked really stupid, but then they fixed it. So yeah, as long as they
it had to be the flamingo shot. It had to be.
right.
Yeah,
And there's a reason why every other star has copied that shot since,
Yes.
hmm
all the way
And-
from LeBron to Luca.
And obviously there's no choice other than Beltre to be on the knee. I mean, that's just there's no other.
I'm just happy for him because he's not a guy. He was a guy that we didn't draft. We didn't bring him in. He wasn't naturally brought up. I mean, he started in Seattle, went to Boston, was there for 1 year, and chose to come to the Rangers, and then chose to stay. He loved it so much he stayed, and he just, endeared himself to the community and to the whole DFW area. And when he came in, he was my favorite player. I've said this before. I loved watching Beltre. He was just so much fun to watch. One of the best third basemen I've ever seen play the game.
oh yeah.
And
Just the love of the game he had too. And like we've talked about the little intricacies, whatever
There
that
you
big word is.
Intricacy.
Yes, thank you, Jeff. That he did between like standing between what the batter's eye is in the outfield, so they can't see the catch, like we talked about. I mean, just greatness. The joy he had for the game too. You can see every time he stepped on there.
Well, also too, just think about where he came from before he got to the Rangers. He was 32 when he got to the Rangers, and before then, he never even made an All-Star team except for the year before, where it's a contract year for on Boston, and everyone thought, oh well, you're just going to give Beltre all this money, and then he's going to suck because he got paid. And then that was the complete opposite of what happened. What happened was that he turned himself into a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
He really did. One of the best third basemen to play the game. Defensively.
100%.
and offensively.
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah,
But yeah, so
multiple
very,
time Gold
very
Glove.
deserving of having a statue out there. I mean, there's no one else on that team really. I mean, the only other person that he played with that I think could probably have one would be Michael Young, just because he was Mr. Ranger.
Right.
But really, he's the only other person that I.
I'm honestly kind of surprised his number hasn't been retired yet, but
Beltre or Young.
Young, just because of all the records he holds for that organization.
Well, I may be just talking out of my ass here, so don't quote me on this, but I think that was brought up to him, and I don't think he wanted it retired.
Well,
I thought it was.
possible.
I thought he did get his number 10
Did he?
retired.
I don't remember. I thought I heard something about that, or I'm just imagining it. I can't remember. which
So
one.
I think
Yeah.
really, so I think the controversy with that is, he did eventually get his number retired. I think this is back like in 2019, but the controversy around it was because of the way he left the Rangers with John Daniels, and
Yeah,
And
John
so
Daniels did
that-
him dirty though.
No, John
well-
Daniels is really dirty.
so because of that, it took like 7 years for him to get his jersey retired, and then him and JD buried the hatchet. Then he finally got it, albeit in
He looked
2019.
weird in a Dodger uniform, like really, really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
he looked more
also
natural in his Blue Jays rookie uniform than he did that
Yeah,
Dodgers.
true, very true.
yeah, the Phillies, yeah. But I mean, yeah, Michael Young, you could certainly make a case for him having a
That's the only
statue
other
as well.
person who played with Beltre during that time, and that was at the end of Young's career. But
Right.
think of anybody through that time. I mean, the only
Yeah,
people I
because
can
Texera was good, but he wasn't around long enough.
Texera was good. He wasn't long enough. Kinsler was good, but he wasn't around long enough. And
Right.
really, it would be Michael Young, Beltre. I mean, Elvis. I loved Elvis, and you loved Elvis and Beltre together, but Elvis wasn't the star. The best at his position like Beltre was. And other than that,
Mhm.
the only Pudge.
Yeah, I
Pudge
mean,
has
That's
one.
really about it.
yeah, Pudge would be the only one, but he's kind of been on too many teams, and then there's still
No, well, no, he's not on too many teams. I mean, I was glad
Yeah.
when he went to the Marlins and won, so he actually got a
Right.
ring 'cause he deserved it. But for what
Sure.
he did as a
Mhm.
Ranger, no,
Yeah.
he deserved it for just as a Ranger.
hmm
The only other players that played with Pudge I can think of, I mean, because Nolan's already got his statue, so there's nothing to worry about there. You're not going to give one to Rafael Palmeiro just because of the steroids.
Or Gonzalez. Yeah, Pudge has his own statue
Juan
there at the new
Gonzalez would be the
stadium.
only other, Juan Gonzalez will be the only other one I would think of, but
I don't think they'll do it with the
then no one,
steroids for him either.
no one even talks about Juan Gonzalez anymore. They only talk about Pudge. I mean, that's the
They
only.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah, you ask anybody from the. Hey, who was on the Rangers in the '90s? Pudge. That's it. No one can name anybody
Oh,
else.
that's right. They did do that statue. I forgot about because that was right before the pandemic.
Mhm. Yeah. The face looks weird to me, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's just him in a Skechers uniform kind of sitting there. Those iconic
it's-
throwouts to first
If he
base.
keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to end up getting a statue as well there too. So
That's
Yes.
highly probable.
But now, what I'd like to get your opinions on the best team or teams in baseball. And I wrote down 5 right here, which I think are probably the 5 best teams right now.
Mhm.
3 of them in American League, 2 are in the National League.
Okay.
You got to guess, or you want me to tell you? You're gonna be guessing.
Well, I'm
I'll
gonna say
guess.
Yankees and Orioles are 2 of them.
Yankees and Orioles are 2 of the teams. Yep.
I'll go the next league and do Dodgers,
Dodgers are on there. Yeah.
and then I'll let Jeff take a few swings. I took the easy fruit. Sorry, Jeff.
You took the low fruit and just like, here,
Although there's
Jeff,
still
you guess.
one easy. There's an easy one left out there still. They're playing tonight.
Well, I'll say the Phillies would
Yep.
be one.
Phillies. Yeah, I got one more team that I have in there.
In the AL?
It's in the AL. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know who. Well,
It'll
I
be a
think
team that was recently named or renamed
no,
recently.
no, I don't. Well, maybe record wise, but the way they're playing right now, you could make
I
a
want
case for the Astros.
Yeah, the
being the-
Astros you could make a case for just because of what they've done so far and everything. But I have
True.
Cleveland.
They've had a
in
decent
that.
month.
These are just the 5 teams I wrote down. You can add more if you want to, but these are just the best teams so far, record wise, that have just been playing consistently good the whole year. And
Right.
I knew, everyone knew it was going to be a slugfest between the Yankees and Orioles this year. With the Yankees lineup being healthy, adding Juan Soto.
Adding Soto has been a
pissed
huge
about.
difference.
I keep telling my father-in-law, who's a huge Yankee fan all the time, like, I'm just so fucking jealous that you got Soto. I'm just jealous of it.
Mm-hmm.
It burns me on the inside that they got Soto. But
Yeah, well, the Rangers weren't spending
spending
anyway.
No, they were spending. They didn't really have room for him. I understand. I get it. I just, like, God, you have Soto and Judge together. And if Giancarlo Stanton can actually, limp out there every once in a while. then
And
you've got
Volpez is being his usual or his self too.
And then just the youth of Baltimore with Gunnar Henderson and what they're doing down over there is just amazing.
And they
Makes
still,
me
I
wanna
think,
drive.
have Holiday Jr.
It makes me want to risk risk driving out to Baltimore just to go watch a game. I I really want to go to Camden and go watch
Yeah,
them
I
play.
mean they
Oh
have
yeah.
Henderson, they have Santander, or excuse me, yeah, Santander, and then they have Adley Rutschman, who is like the number one overall pick, and Colton Cowser, who's probably going to be the rookie of the year. I mean, that
Those
lineup
kids,
is
And they, like I said, they
unbelievable.
still
those
have Holiday
kids,
Jr. in the minor leagues right now.
those kids
They've
are
called him up a
playing
little bit, but
like
he's
their
down
shit
there.
doesn't stink. They're just
Right.
like, fuck it.
Hmm.
The moment has not been too big for them. They've been outstanding. You guys, who's their manager again? I don't have my notes. I didn't write that down. But
Yeah,
who's
who
the
is
manager?
there?
Can you look it up for me? Because if I get
Yeah,
if I try to look it up on my laptop, it's gonna shut me down.
no, let me bring. Yeah, oh, that's the dude that won the Manager of the Year award last year, Brandon
Brandon
Hyde.
Hyde.
Brandon Hyde. What he's doing with these kids is, I mean, yeah, they're talented. Don't get me wrong. They're very, very talented. But
Hmm.
to have them playing at this extremely high level where they're going shot for shot against the Yankees with Aaron Judge on Soto, it's amazing what he's doing with these kids there in Baltimore. They're a fun team to watch. They truly are.
And also, too, it's good and actually shocking knowing Baltimore management, but how they were able to stick with Hyde. You know, he had 50 his years before 2023 were 54 and 108, 25 and 35 in the pandemic season, then 52 and 110 and 83 and 79. And then for them to stick around with him, that takes some guts,
Yeah.
especially when you're going against all those teams in the AL East. The
Believe in the
concern with
process.
right, the concern with me about Baltimore still is I don't. I mean, Corbin Burns, you know, he is top. He's a top of the line pitcher, and I mean, the guy that's a Cy Young candidate. But other than that, I don't trust their rotation at all. And when you get to the playoffs, and we saw it last year when the
Mhm.
Yeah.
Rangers went against Baltimore, they swept them. And the last thing, like what you do not want to do if you're Baltimore and you send Corbin Burns out there and lose game one, that's not a scenario that I would like to be
No,
Nah.
it's not.
still
But
worried about.
I think they learned a lot from that last year. I think you're gonna learn by coming in, getting your brains beat in. You learn a whole lot. Look at the Celtics when they got whipped by Golden State a few years ago.
Right.
You learn a lot by getting your brains beat in. So we'll see. We'll see. They're gonna be in playoffs. So I mean, we're gonna see if they learned enough they can actually try to put it together and make their own little magical run. Uh, but yeah, I mean, in Cleveland, to me, Cleveland has been the biggest surprise all season.
Yes.
They, that team should not be as good as they are, and I'm wondering if they're playing above their stature, and if it's just are we gonna find out who they really are first rounds of the playoffs, or are they gonna be able to keep this sustained? I don't know.
And I
And
think
they were a
again,
solid team 2 years ago. Then they just fell in the tank last year. So this may just be a natural rebound for them.
well, I mean, you have two all-star players in your lineup with Jose Ramirez and Steven Kwan. Those are two top of the line players in your lineup that get to play every single night. But again, kind of like Baltimore, I go back to the starting pitching of Cleveland. I don't they're not a bad it's not a bad rotation, but I just don't see how long this keeps going. I don't think I mean
Well, we've
Tanner
been saying
Bybee,
for a while
solid
they've been saying
pitcher.
it here, and they just keep winning. They'll go on a small losing streak, but they'll lose one series and then they'll win three more after that.
Yeah, and so what's impressive though is, and we've brought him up, or I think we brought him up about a month ago, is that Emmanuel Clase, who was in the Kluber deal, and who's the best closer in baseball. So it's He is just as an update for everybody. 37 saves, 57 and a third innings, .63 ERA. That is
That's
that is
unreal.
and so yeah.
Video
If
games.
if anyone wants to talk about bad Ranger trades, just go back to that one. But
Well, you got to make those trades, though. You can't always guarantee those guys are going to.
oh no,
It's not like the
no,
Rangers don't develop pitching anyway.
Yeah.
right. That's the
Soccer,
thing,
Lighter.
right? And so I think with Cleveland is that it'll come down to starting pitching. If they get decent starts, their bullpen is fantastic. And that's what's kept them in all these close games that they've been in when the starting pitching hasn't always been at top level. They're on 3-game losing streak right now. And I'll be curious to see. I mean, I think that's a really close race. I think Cleveland, I wouldn't be surprised if any three of this division in the Central. I think I really, I was not bullish on Casey at all, especially after that Rangers series back a month and a half ago. But again, this team is just so good. And Bobby Wood Jr. for Aaron Judge. And I think that's a team to really watch out for. Their rotation's been fantastic. I don't know how long it's going to keep going. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how long how long their rotation is going to be as good as they have been, but I don't. We're almost at September, so it must not be a fluke at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You're calling everybody else who's above them in the standings their pitching staff's flukes. So
No, I'm saying is what I'm saying is that Cleveland has survived by mediocre starting pitching so far. They've banked on their bullpen. Baltimore has banked on mediocre starting pitching because their lineup is freaking incredible.
Well, they got two decent starters. Don't forget about Grayson over there. He's got a 3.18 ERA right now too, and he leads the team in wins actually.
I don't give a shit about wins. That's a team. That's not
winning doesn't matter.
Right.
That's not an individual statistic. It is a team statistic. The win-loss record of the pitching staff is going to be the same win-loss record of your team. So it is what it is. But I think, I just still not buying Baltimore's rotation. One team that I am buying, though, in the NL, and we've joked about it for years now, is the San Diego Padres.
Stop it right now.
They could make a playoffs.
71 and 55. Oh, they're making the playoffs.
No.
There's of course they'll make the playoffs. Now you got to wonder if they have.
They're the number one wild card, Porter.
They are going to get swept.
They're only 3 out from.
It doesn't matter if they get swept. They're still going to be in the wild card if they get swept.
They're still going to get swept.
And what's amazing though about the Padres is that, and Arizona for that matter, they hung around 500 long enough, and I kind of thought the Rangers might do this too, where they would hang around 500 long enough and then get hot after the All-Star break. Padres and the NL champs of last year, Arizona did. Texas obviously did not, but I think the Padres. So you just have too many weapons, too much talent. You have. Yeah,
which is what we've been saying for years, though, and they've always let us down.
Right.
And now that you said something, Manny Machado's going to break his leg. The team's going to just, freaking plummet down and miss the playoffs. Watch, it's going to happen.
Put that curse on somebody, Ricky Bob.
going all the way down. They're going to crash and burn.
What also too I'm impressed about is Jurickson Profar finally clicking after 12 years of
He's the only person on the
Yeah.
Padres that I would actually root for. Good for Jurickson Profar. I'm happy for him. He made the All-Star game, and yeah, he can do well. I'm okay with him.
and Dylan Cease has had a phenomenal year for San Diego as well. That was a great pickup, and I don't know what it would have taken to get him in a Texas uniform, but it would be nice to have Dylan Cease right now.
So, who is going to win the National League pennant? Philly or the Dodgers? 'Cause
I
that's
think the
who it's really
Dodgers.
going to be between. That's who it's going to be between.
Yeah.
in my opinion. I think it's
I want the
between those.
I'll say the Dodgers because I don't like Philly.
I don't like Philly either. I'll never root for Philly.
Hmm. So I'm just
I
gonna say
think
Dodgers for that
usually
reason.
Bryce Harper's there.
Oh no, I think the Dodgers are the team to beat. I mean, they have the best lineup in
Well, and
perhaps
speaking
all
of
of
injuries,
baseball, if definitely in the National League.
Arguably with the Yankees, them and the Yankees have the two best lineups. I'd argue with you.
speaking
In
of
Baltimore
and, you know,
too.
Yeah, that's
Rangers,
true.
we didn't get hit. We got hit with the injury bug, but so did Atlanta. Atlanta just
Yes.
completely decimated. They're the National League versus the Rangers this year. Just the
Yeah.
injuries that they had is just absurd.
Yeah, once their All-Star went down, it was the rest of the season just kind of. But
Kelly
they're
Jr..
still a wild card. Yeah, yeah. But they're still hanging on by a
Lost them
thread. Of a,
starting pitcher. What was his name? Springer? Not Springer.
for the Braves,
Wait, what was your question, Porter? Sorry.
starting pitcher got injured.
Their ace.
Oh, yeah, Freed got injured. So
Yeah, Friedman, Acuna Jr. So I mean, you can go down a list of
no,
names
yeah. Well,
like
I mean,
Austin Riley.
well, no, but the key with
They're
him
the team
is
that just got bit by the injury bug as bad as Texas did. Just
yeah.
wow.
But I mean, and that's the thing. And
a lot of people had them picked to win the National League pennant. A lot of people did at the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
even with Ohtani going over to the Dodgers, because I guess a lot of people didn't know how he would fit in there.
Yeah, and
maybe he was going to gamble.
It was a gamble.
It was a gamble. It definitely was a gamble. But
I know. Yeah, you weren't talking about super recently. You're talking about way before. You're talking about the Spencer Strider injury.
Strider, that was his name. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Strider.
that. Yeah. I mean, you had that even before the season really started, and then Freed's been banged up a little bit, and then obviously everyone knows about the Acuna injury, and yeah, they've not been the same, and it's pretty unbelievable to be able to hang on as much as they have, and also too, it doesn't help that there's a lot of depth in the National League. I think the Braves will probably hang on for a wild card spot, and then there'll be the two West teams in San Diego and Arizona. Before Atlanta won 3 games in a row, though, that they were looking really, really bad. One positive for the Braves, though, Marcell Ozuna, who's had an unbelievable year. I mean, I think he won't win an MVP, but you could make a case for him. And then I think Chris Sale's your Cy Young winner. And
Sale's going to win Cy Young. There's no doubt in that.
And so really
highly probable.
So if it really weren't for those two guys, like I don't even think Atlanta would be above 500 right now. So
and Chris Sale's had a year. I mean, he's leading the National League in like strikeouts and ERA. I mean, not ERA, but
he might be.
Look at every pitching stat. And if he's not leading, he's one of the top 3 in the National League. It's just outrageous. If he doesn't get Cy Young, I mean, I don't trust the voters. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's leading. Yeah, he is leading in wins, ERA, strikeouts, um, strikeouts per 9 innings. He's an all-star, obviously. Still has amazing swing and miss stuff at this point of his career. At 35, I really, if there's no other person that could win the Cy Young, unless if you want to maybe give it to someone like Zach Wheeler just because they're going to win the NL East, but that's not right to me. I mean, Chris
No.
Sale is hands down better than Zach Wheeler.
Easily. All right. Well, unless there's any other baseball nuggets you guys wanted to jump in on, throw in the microwave, then go ahead.
Brewers are on a 5-game winning streak and are 11 games up.
No
in
one
the
cares
Central.
about the Milwaukee
I-
Brewers.
What?
No
I'm
one
just
cares
saying.
about the Brewers at all whatsoever. Get out of here with your Brewers.
Just
No.
saying they're there.
No,
Pretty
stop you right there. So, anyways, at the Brewers. I got nothing against the Brewers. We'll go ahead and wrap up this segment here, and we'll be right back where we're going to go ahead and dab our toes into college football. And welcome back from the break. It's time to talk about college football. Here we go.
Finally.
Mm-hmm.
Starting up this weekend. And what was the game, Caleb? You said that's going to be on there? Western Kentucky and.
Oh no, I was saying I don't care about watching these
Well, no.
big
so,
names
so
beat the
hold
lower
on.
ones.
So we this weekend we have Florida State, Georgia Tech, and we have SMU taking on Nevada, and we have Delaware State taking on Hawaii.
All
This
right.
is that Peacocks, Delaware State.
No, just
Delaware State, they're the Hornets.
The Hornets.
And then regular Delaware is the Blue Hens. And then not this
That's
weekend,
Blue Hens.
obviously, but the following weekend, that'll be the official.
So
starting.
Delaware State and Hawaii, where is that game being played?
That game is being played in Honolulu. Hawaii's a 39.5-point favorite. If you
Good for
you'd
Delaware
like to bet on
State. Hey, you go to school at Delaware State, Delaware,
and you get to go to Hawaii.
and you get to go to Honolulu. That's awesome. That's great.
Yes,
Maui
that's
Wowie.
amazing.
Well,
Mm-mm.
I'm ready for college football. There's already been talk about, October 12th, and that's Texas OU weekend and everything going on.
Mhm.
You got a lot of the realignments already started there with Texas and OU moving over to the SEC this year. There's a lot of talk here with all of this.
It's going to be a
Super
very
tough.
different year from the past couple of years we've had.
It is, and we're getting into even more as these other teams start moving out to all the other conferences. But just wanted to bring up first mainly what we're talking about here. Here's the top 10 in the AP poll. Do you guys want to guess the top 10? And just give me, we'll go ahead and do it like this. You guys give me a guess the teams, and I'll tell you what number they're at till we get to the top, as we get through the top 10. All right?
All right. I'll let you go first, Jeff, since I took the low-hanging fruit last time.
So, yeah, go back and forth, one each.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia.
Number 1.
Ohio State.
Number 2.
You got 3,
I have
Jeff?
I have a feeling Oregon is up there.
Oregon is number 3.
Hey, I got to get number 4. Alabama.
Alabama, number 5.
Man, I think that's too
That's about
high
one.
for Alabama. Would Texas be up there?
Texas, number 4.
There you go. Oh, I know they're not high, but Florida State.
Number 10.
Man, okay.
Mm.
10 for Florida State.
I think Ole Miss could be it. I think that's a scary team to me this year.
Ole Miss, number 6.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Ole Miss and Kansas State's got to be on there somewhere.
Not in the top 10.
Yeah, that's true. Probably. Yeah. Never mind.
Jeff?
Ole Miss is number 7 and 8.
And so I think this
Hmm.
is really more schedule related because I think they're a solid team. I think they're really going to benefit for their schedule this year. I think Notre Dame may be up there.
Number 7, Notre Dame.
Mm.
Fighting Irish.
Yep.
Since I became Catholic, apparently I'm now a Notre Dame fan.
No, you are a Notre Dame fan.
I would say you've been a Notre Dame fan.
Well, you're in Pittsburgh too. Pittsburgh Panthers. Nobody cares about. It's Notre Dame.
Yep. Nobody cares about Notre Dame either. What about Tennessee? Are they in there?
Tennessee, not in the top 10. They are in the top 15, but not in the top 10.
So number 7 is what we're looking for.
Now we're looking for number 8 and number 9. Notre Dame was
Oh, number 8 and
7.
9, excuse me.
Looking for
Oh,
8
okay.
and 9 in the country.
They said they were 9.
They're cheating.
What about OU?
OU, not in the top 10. Surprise, surprise.
Mhm.
OU actually is ranked 16th.
That's too high for them. But I figured they might get some sympathy points for going to a new division.
I think they got the sympathy points.
Yeah. Penn State for Jeff?
State.
He says
My
Penn
guess,
State.
Penn State.
Penn State, number 8.
Hey.
Okay.
So now we just need
We're
9.
looking for number 9.
Is it on the West Coast by chance?
I'm not giving that information away.
Then I'll just go ahead and say USC just as my throw out then.
No.
No.
And actually, in the AP poll that I looked at, did not have USC on it at all. In the coaches poll, they had them at like 23, I think.
Okay. They must expect that Caleb Williams drop off. And that defense is still nothing to write home about, though.
No, not at all. That team is going to be future.
They're not going to put Michigan up there, are they?
I hope not.
The reigning national championship
Whoa.
Michigan Wolverines at number 9.
They have no one returning. They've lost 13 starters, and they're
And they've
head
officially
coach.
and they cheated too.
That's why they're at number 9.
God.
Not in the top
Ugh.
4. So Michigan, yes, number 9. So these other surprise teams are more localized teams down to the Texas area, but as I said earlier, OU, which Caleb guessed, is at 16. 17, Oklahoma State.
Okay.
Texas A&M, 20. And then my big surprise, like looking through the other teams, you had Iowa at 25. Okay, Clemson's up there in the teens. I see all that. Tennessee's in there as well. I think Tennessee was either 11 or 13. At 22, the Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah.
To me, I was very surprised to see Kansas in the top 25.
Still kind of surprised North Carolina's not even on this.
They
What I can see.
Yeah.
Well,
You
they're
look at
missing
Alpha
Drake
Free.
May now. I mean,
Yes.
they're
Yeah, that's true. They did lose their QB, but they've been solid for about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I mean they
Program
were
like, but a football program like North Carolina, they can be solid, but you lose that quarterback. They don't have anything to fall back on. You're not getting quarterbacks jumping over themselves to go play at North Carolina. They're not.
I know Mac Brown had a pretty good program.
He did. I don't fault Mac Brown at all.
I don't
Yeah.
know if I buy KU at
No, I
Nobody
don't
buys
like-
KU there. They're going to be
I
one of the
know-
first teams to fall out of it.
Whenever Kansas is ranked, I'm going, okay, who's smoking, who's drinking the
Yeah.
Kool-Aid? Like,
They're
there's
just-
no reason Kansas should ever be ranked. They should always
Well,
be
unless it's
ranked.
basketball,
Yeah,
Yeah.
basketball. No, yeah, but we're not talking basketball.
I
Same
know.
thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like in basketball,
Dude.
yeah, but football, no, they should never be ranked in football. They are just a
No, they
putrid
should
football
never be
team.
ranked. Now, if they win their way into being ranked, okay, I got you. If they
Yeah.
if they had a great season, went, you know, spitball, and they went 11-1 or 10-2, and they were ranked 22. Okay, cool. I see it. That's good. Good for you. You overplayed what everybody thought you would, but Kansas should never be ranked in the preseason poll ever. No, should not happen. Well, anyways, enough about that nonsense. So your top four, you got Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, and Texas. How do you feel about those top four? Did the committee get this preseason poll correct?
I think that
To me, Texas is too high. It's way too high.
Really?
Yeah. I think Texas is going to have a very down year. They lost a lot of talent, and they've already had their top two running backs be injured. And I think they have a wide receiver injury, too, from their starting core. But I know their top two running backs are down at the moment. So you're going to be starting a true freshman at running back.
Well, no one has any tape.
Welcome to the SEC. Your offensive line is not necessarily great at Texas. And you lost two linemen to the draft.
Yeah, I mean, Texas is losing a ton, but I mean, I think probably
it lost its two top receivers to the draft, and then you have another injury.
Oh yeah, they're losing JT Sanders as well, but they're also bringing in top quality transfers who are top wide receivers, at their schools, like Isaiah Bond from Alabama is one, for example. I think Texas is at a spot now where, similar to Alabama, it's not rebuilding mode, it's reload mode. Texas has established themselves as a top recruiting team in the country, or portal team in the country now, if you want to call it that. I don't think
he's that type of guy. That's the guy that they wanted, they needed.
Exactly.
And don't forget the viewing controversy. You got yours and a Manning waiting in the background.
Yeah, and so I don't think. To me, I think Texas is still bringing in the talent, whether it be portal or recruiting wise, to where I'm not really too concerned how much they lost. Yes, they lost a ton of wide receivers. Obviously, lost Byron Murphy, also Montavious Sweat on the defensive line as well. To me, I have a problem with Ohio State being ranked as high as they are. This is an Ohio State team that has had one test, is to beat Michigan the last 2 years. They haven't done it. When they hadn't played anyone else in the Big Ten other than Michigan, they failed. Now they actually play some other teams in the Big Ten, like Oregon, on the road. I don't see them winning that game. I don't see them going to Happy Valley this year and beating Penn State on the road.
They got one of the better young QBs, though. Now Marvin Harrison Jr.'s gone, the great wideout.
No, hold on. So Will Howard from K-State is just going to come in to Ohio State and dot the I, and
I think he's going to be good.
It's not Manhattan, Caleb. It's not Manhattan, Kansas.
This is the Big Ten. You mean it's not the Big Apple? What? It's not the Big Apple?
The Little Apple in Manhattan. Yeah. No, but this is a completely different ball game, and Ryan Day is coaching for his job this year.
That is true. True. That is very, very true. If he loses to Michigan again this year, with Jim Harbaugh leaving and their whole team gone, he'll get fired the next day.
Highly probably.
It doesn't
matter. Very likely.
It wouldn't even matter if they got into the playoff; he'd be fired.
Yes, he cannot lose. He cannot lose to Michigan again this year.
That's the rule in Ohio. Yeah, it's 3 strikes you're out at Ohio State. Yeah,
he's done. I mean, that's what it is. That rivalry is too big to lose that 3 years in a row, and especially last year you can sit there and say, well, we lost to the national champion. and Harbaugh just had his number. You can have that, but having a new coach come in, a new system, losing all the players that they've lost, there's no excuse now. He's coaching for his job to stay at Ohio State, and I do agree with you. For someone who's coaching for their job to rank the team at 2 in the nation, mm, I wouldn't have had him at 2. And I haven't kept up with how everything's been going in college football, of course, but I was a little surprised to see Ohio State at 2. I would expect them at 4. I really probably would have expected them at 4.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised in the top 10 to not see Washington. I know that they got completely gutted, of course, after their coach left for Alabama. And then, of course, Penix Jr. going to Atlanta, of all places. But
Weirdest draft of all time there for Atlanta.
it truly was. Truly was. But, yeah, they got completely
And that's the thing.
Out from that. But that team got gutted, just completely gutted after their coach left.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, I was a little surprised to see Ohio State. Georgia, of course, being up there. Georgia and Kirby Smart has that team just clicking on all cylinders. I mean, that loss to Alabama at the end of the season was kind of that was they were gonna if they were gonna lose the game, that was gonna be the game. It was. I mean, that's just
Yeah, they were perfect for 2 years. So I mean, you're going to lose eventually.
You're going to. It's going to happen. You just hope that it doesn't happen at that point. You hope it happens
Right.
early in the season so you can, come back from it at least. You want to lose like maybe week 1 or week 2 so at least you can build back.
Well, I think that's why the SEC has been one of the better divisions. It's something for people to talk about at the end of the year. That championship game is usually a very important and big deal. It matters who's in or who's out.
Every single time, because there will always be an SEC team, if not 2, in the playoffs. It's just
national.
Well, especially with 12 now,
every single year.
Yeah, with the expansion of the playoffs, we're not going to have any whiny Florida State fans this year. We really want you to shut up. No, you didn't, and you got proven that when your whiny bitch ass players sat out because you were too busy crying that you didn't get into the playoff, and then got embarrassed by Georgia, who came out
63-3.
But you want to sit there and throw your whining butt about it. They were the best team in the league, hands down. Georgia probably, if they would have made it to the playoffs, they won that game, they probably would have won the championship. But you know what? They didn't come out whining and crying about it. They came out there and they put their foot on your throat and they freaking ended your season.
Yeah, I think Georgia would have destroyed Michigan in that.
Oh, I think they would have too. I think Georgia was the best team, and Georgia should have been in there. But you know what? They weren't because they lost that last game. Now, Florida State, I understand you didn't lose. You were undefeated. You played worse talent.
And you're down to your third string quarterback, and you barely beat Florida. You barely beat Louisville.
Barely. And Alabama deserved to jump you because they beat the best team in the league in the week that it mattered.
In the Georgia Dome.
Sucks to be you.
Yeah, I mean,
play and schedule harder teams. Make a harder schedule at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I have no sympathy for Florida State.
No,
and that's kind of and so one thing that I'm interested in when we're talking about Florida State is SMU joined the ACC, and SMU gets Florida State at home Saturday, September 28th. That'll arguably be the biggest home game SMU has had. Oh, I don't know, 40 years probably.
Since Eric Dickerson.
Yes, and also too, SMU was playing those games at Texas Stadium. Then they weren't playing them at on the hilltop like they are now. I think I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I would really. I think SMU has a chance to go undefeated.
Ooh.
And so
just on the board.
So I mean, to me,
so you're saying they're going to beat Florida State?
They could, and I think they could beat TCU and they get them, and then the only thing. So there's this 3-game stretch really that what I'm looking at SMU. It's TCU at home, and then Florida State at home the next week, and then at Louisville. 3 straight weeks in a row. But then tell me, who are they going to lose with the rest of the 9 games? At Nevada, Houston Christian at home, BYU at home, at
It's
Stanford,
SMU. They could
at
lose
Duke,
any of those
Pittsburgh,
games
Boston
easily.
College, at Virginia Cal. This team won 11 games last year. I think
They had a good year.
They could overlook BYU. BYU's a sneaky team. They've always been a sneaky team.
Oh, sure. I'm not saying they'll
Even
overlook
when
it.
they
I
had
just
the
mean
Mills Hunter as their coach or as their quarterback.
that is true. But I just think it's not out of the realm of possibility to where SMU could have a really, really good season this year.
Well,
And
if they could, that would be great for them. You could get SMU back because they haven't been the same since the death penalty. But guess what? They can pay their players now, so it's all okay.
Yeah, I know, right? It's ironic
Yeah.
now.
It is ironic. But now they can actually succeed in that avenue. Watch, they won't do it now because they've just been pounded into submission that they just won't do it anymore.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious. Yeah, SMU. Why they'll be the only school that doesn't pay their players. But yeah, I also what bugs me is, Michigan. We discussed them losing a shit ton of players.
You mean, are you not surprised Alabama losing Nick Saban?
Oh, yeah,
I mean, they got a good coach.
That's what
Are
I
we
was
surprised?
That's what I was going to say. I don't think.
I think they should be higher, in all honesty.
Why?
Alabama's talent is still there, and the Washington coach is a good coach, in my opinion.
He is a good coach, but it is a whole change of dynamic for that entire organization.
Very true.
And you're talking about a coach who had zero pressure in Washington.
I don't know if I'd call it zero pressure.
But he took Washington to the national championship.
From the Tide. Completely different.
Well, when you're talking Alabama, yeah, it's like coming to New York Yankees, especially after you lose a legend in Nick Saban.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like Luka trying to fill Dirk's shoes in the Mavs.
Yeah, you're going from the Washington Nationals.
Well, you're saying
to
right
New
there
York
that
Yankees.
he's, in that quality of coming in. We don't know that.
Well, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you're filling a legend's shoes. It's always awkward.
It is a legend.
It's more what I'm getting at in that regard. I'm not comparing his skill to Luka by any means, but I think he's a good coach.
No, I don't think he's a bad coach, but I mean, who are you going to get to fill those shoes? I mean, that's the only other person who stood up to him in Alabama's, history has been Bear Bryant.
So I'll put this in a different.
Kirby Smart might have been the only other one that you could have said, "Oh, okay, yeah, we're good, lose nothing."
Just think about this.
Exactly.
Well, there's no reason for him to leave Georgia.
No, not what. No, Georgia will pay him whatever he wants
to
stay there.
Think about it this way: say Kalen DeBoer, say Nick Saban, came back this year as everyone anticipated, and Kalen DeBoer comes back at Washington, which he would have if Saban didn't retire. Kalen DeBoer goes 8-4 in Washington. People are like, "Oh, nice year, yeah, we're rebuilding."
Well, when you lose your all-star QB,
no, hold on. When you're rebuilding, you're just rebuilding here at Washington. DeBoer goes 8-4 at Alabama this year. Tell me what happens. His ass is on the chopping block.
No. He'll get
not after 1 year.
I mean, I'm not saying he'll get fired, but I'm saying if he does
that, he's not even on the chopping block at 8-4. I'm sorry.
At Alabama, no, you don't get
it. We got to get your hand away from the red button, John. You always like to go a little
That's why you can't be president. You
Nuclear.
just be hovering over that.
No. I'm not saying I do it. What I'm saying is
No,
the
he's not.
reaction.
No, if he goes 8-4 at Alabama, he's not going to be on the chopping block because
But you don't think the fan
It's
base
going to be a
would
bad
want him
year,
fired?
and the fan base will
is
be
gonna
mad, but
throw
they're not
a
going to
fit
want
no
to
matter
fire.
what. If he loses,
That's all I'm at. That's all
Yeah,
I'm at.
if he's
That's what I'm
11-1, they're going to be pissed because he's
yeah,
probably going
pissed
to be
'cause he
lower in the
didn't win a championship,
championship.
because that's what they expect. The
Yeah.
thing is if he goes 8-4, and those 4 games that he loses, they lose by a field goal each time or by like a last second touchdown. Okay, you're psychos, which okay, I'm sorry, it's Alabama. But there are some Alabama fans, I know,
Oh, 90% of
part of
them
me
are
saying
that
this
way.
that actually understand, you can lose a game like that, and that just kind of happens along the way.
Mhm.
They're going to understand, hey, we were in these games. He's just got, it's a new team. He's got a whole brand new team that he's working with. We've got something good here. Do I think he can be a good coach for them? Yes, I do. Is he going to fill Nick Saban's shoes? I don't know. We're going to find out, and they're going to find out. The thing is, they need to be able to, as a fan base, not hit the panic button like you're doing already and wait it out.
I'm not hitting the panic button. What I'm saying
I
is
mean,
that
there's 5 games they could easily lose. Don't get me wrong, but
yes,
like I
I
said,
don't
it's
see them
just
being Georgia, not at all.
yeah.
No,
I mean, you
I
got
don't
Georgia,
either.
LSU, Auburn still there. Don't forget about them.
Auburn will sneak out a win on a bunch of teams. You can't sleep on them.
Yeah, and then you still got Tennessee in there too.
It's not matter what you're having. Tennessee is going to come back. I think Tennessee is going to be decent. I don't know if they're going to be as good as they were last year, but I think they're still going to be they're still a good solid.
Yeah.
I mean,
But yeah, speaking of Western Kentucky, Alabama's going to start against them, so we'll see if they can get off to a hot start.
As long as Alabama doesn't get their brains beaten in on any of these games, I mean, even okay, if Georgia beats their brains in, that's one thing, because Georgia is the best team in the league. Again, that's just what they are. But if you play Georgia and you only lose by a touchdown at the end of the game, no one's going to hang their head at that. I mean,
this is interesting here, though. Like you said, Georgia and Alabama is if you look at the schedule, it's the one game that is favored against Alabama. It's got Georgia as the favorite, but then you can also see that against LSU. LSU is favored against Alabama right now.
Really? Is that game in
just by 1.5 points?
I
believe so.
Or Death Valley?
That's a Death
Valley. I believe it's Death Valley.
That's why. That's why they're getting that home team bonus.
Mm-hmm. So those are the only 2 games that
LSU
Vegas thinks right now that they're going to lose.
Tuscaloosa would be like Alabama would be the favorite if it was
100%
hands down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Alabama's favored to win against Western Kentucky by 31 points right now.
Right.
That's it. See, that tells me something is wrong with Alabama.
Oh God.
Well, there's no trust in it right now because they need to see if the new coach is going to take care of things. It's not Saban anymore. It's a transition. You're not just going to come in and be favored number 1 and be favored on all these games that normally you would be if Saban was there, because Vegas would trust it's Saban. He's college football. That's who he is. You can trust on him. You can bank on him. You know you can bet on him. We don't know. Yes, he did well for Washington, but just like Caleb was saying, if he stayed there, could he be 8-5 again this next year? And then then Alabama probably wouldn't want him then. But can he ride the high? Can he keep this, and can he build onto this? And let's see what he gets from here. I mean, we're going to find out because the game's going to be played, but it's not Saban. So they're going to bet on the side of caution just because it's not the consistency of Saban that you've had for, God, as long as we've had
long
17
time.
years at Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, that's consistency that Vegas likes because they know they can, okay, you're going to lose one here or there, but majority of the time you're going to bet on Saban because in Alabama because you know they're going to win. You know it. So, but we'll see how it goes. They may be ranked too high. Then maybe he's going to come in and tear it up. We'll find out.
Let's see. Caleb, you mentioned K-State. Let's see. They're ranked. Let's see. I'm
Yeah.
looking at it now. 17th, 18th. So they could
Yeah.
win the Big 12 this year, maybe.
Oh yeah. I mean, most of their competition's gone. So they're a favorite right now.
Yeah,
I mean, you
exactly.
bring in UCLA and USC though, but I don't necessarily see those as direct competition
No.
in football, at least. Basketball, they'll probably kill you, but even K-State basketball's been pretty good these past few years.
They haven't been bad. And we'll talk about that more as we get to the college basketball season. All right. Well, unless you guys have anything else you want to bring up here in college football, I mean, we're going to start talking about it more as the season gets involved. But wanted to kind of just dip our toes in the water and see how things are going, get you guys' opinions on these pre-rankings, and we'll see which in the top 25 is going to be the first to get knocked out. Kansas. I vote Kansas.
I'm right there with you. Them or Miami, in all honesty.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Miami gets knocked out.
I hope.
Mhm.
All right. We'll take a quick break here, and we'll be back with some more here in just a moment. And welcome back from the break as we're ready to talk a little bit about the NFL. NFL season ready to get underway. We're 2 preseason games in. So roster spots are getting filled out. Teams starting to get their 53-man roster all set up. And guys, go ahead and talk your opinion about your teams. Are you excited about the upcoming season? Is Joe Burrow trying to become, Eminem? Like, is he Slim Shady now? What's up?
Right. It's a valid question.
He is.
What the hell?
He is WWE wrestler Cody Rhodes right now. He's just missing.
Oh.
He's just missing a tattoo on the side of his neck. But it's weird to me.
I'm just curious if he's going to be that one QB that could have been, but he gets injured every year.
No, and so basically we're at a spot to where if that happens again, then it's fair to deem Joe Burrow an injury-prone quarterback because we'd be talking about
and then drafting it, and then go ahead and taking the season and going to get a drafted quarterback next season.
No, well, I mean that's not an option. I mean we are with Joe Burrow until he physically can't play anymore. Until he's out of batteries.
That's what I'm saying. If he gets hurt bad enough and he's out the whole season, why wouldn't you maybe look at that option? Maybe go ahead and draft in the heir apparent at that point.
No, that's just not how. It's not how the Bengals do things. You don't
not look at things logically.
No, you don't. You would
possibly a great quarterback, let him ride the bench, learn for a couple of years, and then start building your lineup to protect said quarterback. And that way he comes in at like 3 or 4, just a 3 or 4 year veteran at that point after learning the system.
Yeah, the Bengals don't pay for investments. It's you pay.
They throw you to the fire and say, "Good luck." Sorry about the bad ankle.
You get paid for your results in the field, albeit with the exception of Joe Burrow, which is actually, that's never happened in the history of the franchise. No one's got paid like him. And
he did get you the Super Bowl. They lost, but he got you there.
Agreed, and it was much deserved, which is shocking to see that for once the Bengals gave a huge contract to somebody. But
so if he ends up retiring, not getting back to the Super Bowl ever again, let's just say that's just what it is. Who comes out as the better Bengal? Joe Burrow or Chris Collinsworth?
Oh, Joe Burrow. I mean,
Good. I'm glad you finally won't defend that pedophile, for once.
that's
It just
not
takes Joe
true.
Burrow to do it.
It's not true. And the thing is,
It's completely true.
So I'm not even going to
Texas little
address.
girls.
I'm not going to address that. What I'm going to say is, in terms of Joe Burrow, it's he took a team that was back from the dead by himself.
Well, hold on now. He had a little help at wide receiver
and a running back.
Okay, well, let me rephrase.
And that defense was pretty good too.
Well,
yeah,
that's an overachieving defense. But
it wasn't overachieving defense.
What I'm saying though is that I should have said by himself,
Burrow.
But if it wasn't for him, this team would not have even been the playoffs. And so the thing is that there's nothing really that I've gotten out of these preseason games so far in terms of.
Besides you guys making Caleb Williams look good.
Yeah, damn.
What do you mean making Caleb Williams look good?
You made him look good. Do I need to
He had a couple deep passes on you, yeah, in that preseason game.
Okay. So 6 of 13 for 75 yards. That was a really good performance, in your opinion.
I'm not saying really good, but he looked good.
How so?
Because he deep pocketed that passes when he did, man. Were you not watching the game? Like when he chunked it deep and it's like right there where only the receiver can catch it, and the deep ball coverage.
He had one good throw to Ramadan.
He had two like that, but yes.
But it happened to
like one's the other side. But I mean, that's what preseason is for. Like they're not out there to get a whole bunch. It's just a dink and dunk, learn some of the playbook, and if you have a spectacular play.
Lance the entire damn time. I mean, the preseason does not matter. You're playing against guys that will not be on an NFL squad.
Right.
Very true.
My point is that it's really just about what's going to.
The point is, we're just giving you shit. But yeah.
Yes.
No, well, I'm not. I know what the point is. I'm not that oblivious. My point is
the assignment.
my point is that at this point, we're just looking to fill out the rest of our roster, and I feel pretty good about the back end of our roster. And then it's just a matter of, is Joe Burrow going to be ready to go? Is Ja'Marr Chase going to be ready to go? What's our running back situation going to be like?
You were high on Brown last year.
No, I like Chase Brown a lot.
All over Brown at the end.
Oh, okay. I was. I liked him a lot, but now Joe Mixon is gone
starter,
now,
huh?
Zach Moss will be there too. So we're kind of going back to.
That's your Brown takes that role though.
What we have,
Zach Moss, he's hit or miss.
Yeah, I mean, we're going back to what we were in the mid tens and even really the mid aughts. I that's to me going to be the most interesting thing is if this running back by committee that we have is good enough to succeed and win a division.
By committee.
Huh?
Don't talk to me by committee. We'll get into mine.
Oh yeah, what about your committee?
Yeah, Zeke Elliott, name the starter.
What about your committee?
we will. Oh no, our starter is Rico Dowdle. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
And just as another note, I'm not surprised about the whole T. Higgins situation. This will be his last year for sure because we're not going to re-sign him and Ja'Marr Chase. And the Bengals are going to wait till the last minute to sign Jamar Chase to, a huge ass deal, which he deserves. And that's all I have
Would
to
they
say
look at
about that.
are they going to look at trading T Higgins by the trade deadline, especially if say something happens to Joe Burrow?
Oh
You've
yeah,
got some injuries. You're third in the division. Doesn't look like you're going to have a chance to get to the playoffs. Are they going to ship T Higgins
the
off?
Bengals trade to the Ravens. T. Higgins.
That would not happen.
I
That's a
know.
snowball chance in hell.
I think
Snowball chance in hell.
Mhm.
I think that's definitely could happen. If it were to
They
get to that
should.
point.
If they're not going to keep Higgins, and you're not in contention,
Yeah.
you need to sell him high, and just because he could be a number one at another.
Oh, well, yeah.
Jamar Chase, he would be the number one.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
if the deal is out there,
Oh, the deal's going to be out there. There's going to be teams in contention that would love to put T Higgins on their team.
give me a first round pick, and I got it, and I'll give you the deal. Now the question is does T deserve a first round pick, or will he just get a second for it? But it could be a second round pick is worth it for it anyway. So
I would be offered a second round pick. That's as high as I would go. As a Cowboy fan, because Cowboys don't have a lot of first round picks dishing out on someone you don't know to stay. It would just depend. I would only offer a second.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
there's teams out there that would offer a first, especially if they're in win now, kind of going with the whole LA Rams.
yeah, I mean, it could be a situation where I ask for a first, but if I get a second, all I get's a second, then there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Get second round pick.
I did see an interesting well, here I'll bring that up here in a minute because it's Cowboys news, so I'll bring that up here in a minute. So, go ahead. What else do you have to say about the Bengals?
The only thing that I have left to say is that tickets are $8 at Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati. If you want to see the Colts play on or play at Paycor Stadium, and you can see them on Prime Video if you have that as well. So
$8 to go to the game.
$8.
Hell, you're gonna pay more for a beer. Damn.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
That's intriguing.
$8 for.
Maybe we'll have to go. I'm intrigued. $8 NFL game. I don't care who's playing. Oh yeah,
You're the closest one to Cincinnati, so.
I
Mhm.
am. Maybe y'all should come up. Hey, go to
I know
Cincinnati.
we do need to.
Eat some Cincinnati spaghetti with chili on top.
Oh no, Skyline Chili. I agree with Joe Burrow. Skyline Chili sucks, man. That shit
Oh no, I
sucks.
agree that it sucks. It doesn't work. It's not supposed to be that way.
Right. So it's not the meat sauce you're looking for.
Anyways,
I'm
how
done
you feel
on.
about your Ravens
You're
out there in
done.
Baltimore?
Feeling pretty good. So far, the injury bug hasn't hit us. Well, knock on wood, like it usually does in the preseason. So everyone seems to be healthy. No one's really standing out in preseason though. But we're looking
We'll wait 2
solid.
weeks and you'll be on your fourth string running back.
Highly probable. Although Derrick Henry hopefully will stay upright. And he's got some Kenneth Dixon and a couple of, Justice Hill, not Dixon. So I mean, this is going to be a team I think that looks like the old school teams. You get ahead and you just pound it with the defense and you run the ball. Because Zay Flowers is probably going to be your possession receiver. And just keep matriculating down the ball down the field, as Kansas City used to say. But one interesting note is Mark Andrews got in a car accident, but he is perfectly fine. But he did get in a car wreck outside the facility, kind of trying to come into the practice. And the offensive line coach is still. He was hit. But yeah, luckily, no apparent injuries. Training staff looked him over. He's all fine. Just weirdness. And then the O-line coach for the Ravens, unfortunately, has gone into the hospital for an illness. They haven't released what it is just yet, but so lots of prayers for him. He's been there for a while with the Ravens. So hopefully he's doing fine, or he'll be doing better soon. But
other than Zay Flowers, who's your receiver? I would like to know.
Bateman, and who else was the other one?
There for a while now.
I know.
Yeah, we re-signed another guy.
He's been a bust the entire
he's
time.
Not a
he's
bust.
Been there.
He is not. He's got the injury bug, but I wouldn't call him a bust just yet.
He's been Michael Gallup. That's what he's been.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let's run this by for a first-round pick. 2021.
Nelson Aguilar. That's
46 receptions for 5.
But you're most likely going to be running 2 tight end sets because that gives you 2 blockers to get for Derrick Henry or whoever the running back's going to be. You got Isaiah Likely and you've got Mark Andrews there. Very talented tight end.
He's to stay healthy. Likely really looks good last year, but you're also running an older Derrick Henry.
You are. But that's what I'm saying. He at least has more rest with this team.
And Andrews
because Lamar Jackson can pass it and run.
What's up? Andrews spent a lot of time last year. Isaiah Likely.
He did. Isaiah Likely did a good job. Charles Kohler did a good job too when he was filling in. So I mean, they've got their. It's a 2 tight end set. So I mean.
So this is a problem I have with Bateman.
Yes, he has too many drops and he has some injury issues.
46 for 515, 15 for 285, 32 for 360.
Well, the Ravens did see something because they signed him for an extension.
Okay, well, maybe
which is rare for a wide receiver. Yeah. And I mean, Baltimore isn't known for like picking good wide receivers, so maybe they messed up.
I mean,
but
to me, Flowers fell into their lap, and you weren't even sure about him when they drafted him.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he wasn't the TCU guy, I was pretty happy.
Yeah, then Zay Flowers has essentially saved your team. You're so unappreciative of your late first round.
He saved my fantasy team too. He helped bring me a championship last year. So
you're welcome.
I'm on the Zay Flowers train. I'm all
now. What I want him to do is I want him to get him more downfield. That's what I want him. I want him downfield so he can be kind of Tyreek Hill and get some after the catch yards.
That's what he tells.
I think. Well, they've used him more. He's usually behind the lines or very close to the line. So
I don't think that's a skill set. They need to run him.
I agree. Hopefully Munkin can see that and make some changes in his second year. But
I mean, Lamar Jackson does actually have an arm. I mean, I know they want to run him all the time, but he does.
I mean, he had 2 seasons of over 40 touchdowns in college.
Exactly. The guy can throw the ball, so let him throw the ball. You have a guy that he can't outthrow, so give him the opportunity. Send him, let him run some deep ones. Go for it.
Right. Yeah.
If Zay Flowers is covered up, you have Mark Andrews, and now Likely's proved himself safe. As a good safety blanket. You got 2 safety blankets because they're going to be running 2 tight ends the entire season, just like you said. It's rare they don't run 2 tight ends. Period. And why not when you have 2 tight ends of their caliber that can block and catch? I mean,
I'm gonna say, and King Henry's back there now, so it's a good way to mask.
Exactly. Well, to give the local report here in the Pittsburgh area,
it's your turn.
It is gloom and doom for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The season's over. Why did we bring Russell Wilson here? Russell Wilson's a fraud. I already knew that.
They hated him. The preseason meltdown and Justin Fields fumbling on its first 2.
Monongahela and Ohio Rivers have all risen from all of the tears that are being shed over the Steelers season before it started. And it's just
That's the Steelers
They
are the
don't
heart
know
and
what's
soul of
going
that
to go
area.
on. They don't know what's going to go on here. I mean, Najee Harris has not lived up to potential that they thought he would be. Like I thought he might even be. He was on my fantasy team
Yeah.
last year. Yeah, he didn't do jack crap. So, and then everybody's banking on George Pickens being like a top 10 receiver. And potential wise, he does. He has potential.
Yeah,
because
he's
in
got
the end,
potential. It's just who's going to throw
who's
it to him.
throwing him the ball? Who's throwing the ball?
Mm,
That dude had a hell of a season last year.
yeah,
that's-
with
and
Pickett
that's what-
and
That's
Trubisky
with
throwing
Pickett
in the
and
ball.
Trubisky's
And that's my
in Buffalo
point is
because
that
he's in the
it could be
Canadian
even
Football
better.
League because he's terrible at football. He sucks. And Pickens has gone to Philadelphia where he's getting booed out of Philadelphia already. Welcome
Yeah.
to Philly.
Well, we knew Pickett was a bust, though.
Oh, I think everyone in Pittsburgh knew he was a bust. And they just were hoping he wasn't because he played for the Panthers. So they were
Yeah,
Yeah.
hometown hero.
Mm-hmm.
exactly. But yeah, it's doom and gloom in Pittsburgh. They're not looking forward to the season because TJ Watt can't carry him through the whole year. They're hoping, maybe he can get Defensive Player of the Year so they at least have something to head on, which is always a possibility with TJ Watt. He's that good, but stay healthy. So gloom and doom in Pittsburgh. But that brings me to my team, the Cowboys, and we still have Dak Prescott at quarterback. So I can tell you right now, we're not going to the Super Bowl. That's not going to effing happen.
I saw a stat where he has better stats than the Patrick Mahomes does in the last 48
That's
games.
fantastic. Does he have any rings? Absolutely fucking not. So I don't give a
Does
shit
he have a
about
championship
what his stats are
appearance?
doing.
Yeah.
None of it.
Nope.
None of it. No. That's
He has none of it.
news. That's fake news. That's what that is. So yeah, and then Rico Dowdle's going to be the starting quarterback. I know everybody's like, "Oh, you signed Zeke. Zeke." No, Rico Dowdle's the starting quarterback. Zeke is.
Are we sure? Because I've heard Zeke was your starter.
It doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter because
Yeah,
this is
I know.
it's running back
by
from
committee
hell.
for real.
It's running back committee from hell is what it is. We have. I was listening to the fan earlier today. First time I've listened in a while, but they were talking about what the 53-man roster was looking like, and their assessment, their guess, is like fielding the 53-man roster, fielding like 6 running backs.
Jeez.
Absurd.
Yeah.
Because you got Rico Dowdle, Zeke Elliott, you got what was it, Royce Freeman.
Yep.
David, and then some other rookie, and somebody, and then you got what's his name, kid from Kansas State.
Deuce Vaughn. Now I was just about to ask you that. Do you think does Deuce Vaughn make the team?
I hope so.
He hasn't looked bad in the preseason, and I think he was just. I don't know if it was he's not good enough, and they drafted him just because his dad's a scout, or he was underutilized.
Yeah.
Could be a little bit of both.
Last season, everybody was talking about, oh, Deuce Vaughn can be that change of pace, like some guy that you can throw in, like a Darren Sproles type, which there's a reason why there's only been one Darren Sproles, because Darren Sproles was so damn good
Right.
at what he did. And there haven't been many other players like him in his position. But I don't know. I can't answer that. I don't know if he was underutilized or just wasn't good enough to get on the field. I don't know. I really, really don't know. But
yeah,
it's the running back committee from hell. You just gotta go with it. Maybe they'll make a trade for somebody, but man, I don't know. I just don't know. And then with the whole CeeDee Lamb controversy of not signing him, and Jerry coming up going, it's not one of our priorities right now, and CeeDee getting all pissed off about it. It's like, ugh.
Well, what really makes me mad is that since Jerry himself made the fucking trade, he's saying how Trey Lance is just like, the most amazing quarterback he's ever seen.
Got to say that. And the fact is, I'm glad so far the preseason they've only played Trey Lance. They played him the entire time because they need to know what they got for him because they traded a fourth
100%.
pick with this bullshit.
100%.
Pick for him. When you see other quarterbacks better than him getting traded for 6th and 7th rounds later at the after the season end, so you gave up a 4th round for him.
So
Yeah,
now are you
and
mad?
that
Are you
was
in the same
weird.
boat as me and Jeff were at the start of this trade when we said the 4th round pick is not worth it? Are you now in the same boat as us and mad
Yeah.
about that
No,
trade?
I got mad afterwards later. I wasn't mad at the time. I was like, okay, it is what it is, 4th rounder. But then I got as it simmered because I put it back on the back, like I put it on the back burner. I let it sit on the back burner and it was simmering, and it's been simmering ever since then. So it's just been building and building heat to where it's like, okay, you have to say that because what you trade for him, and you have to play him because you need to know what you have. You need to find out what you have. You need to know, is he somebody you can develop, or do you need to maybe look at maybe moving on from him? Because to me, Cooper Rush is still your number 2. I'm not starting Trey Lance.
No,
If Dak gets hurt, I'm not starting Trey Lance. Cooper Rush. Period. Don't care. Now, I did see this proposed, an idea of a trade that pending this player's injury, I would have been very, very interested in. And I haven't seen an update on his injury, so I don't really know. But in this trade scenario, it would be the Cowboys sending Trey Lance and Brandon Cooks to Minnesota for Jordan Addison.
And why the hell would the Vikings do that?
Because what hope do they have right now?
Yeah, especially with all the injuries they've had now.
Right, but
you got JJ McCarthy out for the season, which you're already then banking on a rookie quarterback. So you've got Sam Darnold coming in, which right now, Sam Darnold with Justin Jefferson, this is the best receiver you've ever got a chance to play with. If he's going to revive his career, this is his opportunity to do it now. But that's also if he stays healthy. So at that point, you're adding then, and I would have liked this trade more before Jordan Addison got hurt. I don't know his status, if he's going to be healthy.
Right. He got carted off the field, so yeah, we don't know.
He did. And I saw this.
I think he's going to be okay.
I saw this information right before that injury. So that's why I bring it up now, because we're just now getting to talk about it. But I would have been more for it before the injury because like I said, I don't know the extent of the injury because I don't follow the Vikings. But that's something that I would have been intrigued on, of bringing in another top tier talent. And hey, maybe they want to kick the tires on Trey Lance, because even though I have no faith in him, he hasn't looked terrible. He looked terrible. He didn't look terrible in this last game.
Right.
The game before, he looked pretty bad. But when it comes down to it, he didn't change my mind as being better than Cooper Rush in this last game against the Raiders. He didn't.
Absolutely.
But he looked better than what he did the game before.
Right. It's so really the situation with Trey Lance, I envision is, if say Dak goes down with an injury, it's a couple weeks, you go with Cooper Rush. If Dak Prescott is out for the year, might as well just put Trey Lance out there and see what happens.
I think your Trey Lance's trade value if you put him out there.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's why you put Trey Lance out there.
No, that's what I'm saying. You don't.
No,
if you're going to hurt Trey Lance's trade value, you put Cooper Rush out there no matter how long.
Oh, you need to see him play.
No,
we all saw him play the 49ers, and we both said he sucks.
Okay, so that's why you need to show him. You need to have him play.
If it would up his trade value, yes. But no one's going to trade their mind if they see him. They're going to go, oh, he sucks.
You need Trey Lance to play his ass off in this last preseason game, and then try to get the trade I just proposed, like Jordan Addison, like the number 2 receiver, and you take him and pair him with Brandon Cooks, where they at least get a solid receiver in, and then try to get somebody in. Like
Every
that.
Cowboy
That's-
fan would shit their pants if that happened.
No, exactly.
You probably got to throw in a draft pick just to make it worth the Vikings' while
If you
too.
had-
But
if you had those 2 in, you wouldn't have to throw in a first round for that.
yeah, no, not a first rounder at least.
You
Yeah,
could throw
maybe
in-
not
you
even a
could throw-
second, maybe a third. I would think.
I was going to
You're
say
probably
the
good.
highest I would throw in is a 3rd round pick with those
Right.
other 2 players, and you could be good. Possibly get away with a 4th.
That'd be
Agreed. Well, glad everybody's okay after your fire out at Oxnard. I don't know what those Cowboys are doing, but
McCarthy said it's all okay. And when I
Mhm.
read McCarthy saying it's all okay, all I heard was Officer Barb Brady from South Park going, "Nothing to see here, people. Nothing to see. Move along. Nothing to see here.
Yep.
Nothing to see. Move along." That's all I heard. McCarthy saying.
Probably someone.
I thought you were about to say that Simpsons cop for a second.
Wiggum.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Wiggum.
Keep Wiggum.
It's like,
Keep Wiggum.
fucking bars. It's like, what do you do? Plant, beat him.
Ralph.
Yeah, Ralph. Yeah, that's his new OC. Oh,
In trouble.
Exactly. There he is.
yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, do you think Albert Huggins is gonna be on the team come start of the camp
Absolutely fucking
or start of
not.
the season?
No, Malik
Yeah.
Davis has a better chance of being on the team.
Yeah, supposedly they've already started making trades for a Giants defensive lineman, so they can cut him and keep the Giants player.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Well, they got Jordan Phillips, if that's what you're
That's
talking
who it is. Yeah,
Phillips. Yeah,
I think I could remember the name.
Huggins
Yeah,
is gonna be
because
fine. He got blown
Huggins-
off the line the whole time. He got abused. He got completely abused. It was terrible.
Yeah,
I didn't watch the whole game, but I saw a couple times. I'm like, who the fuck just got blown up? And looked it up. I was like, damn, this guy sucks. I don't know who this is, but he's just getting blown
are you
up.
talking about the Huggins guy, or are you talking about
Huggins,
somebody
yeah, I'm
else?
talking about Huggins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're talking about
He-
Phillips for a
he-
second.
on the radio earlier today, listening to 105
Mhm.
the fan there in Dallas, Fort Worth, he wears 68,
Mhm.
and Mozzie Smith wears 58. So a lot of people thought it was Mozzie Smith getting destroyed, but Mozzie
Ah.
Smith was at the game because he had an allergic reaction.
Interesting. That's some milk. Oh, that sucks.
That's what I'm hearing. Well, whatever it was, he apparently had an allergic reaction, and so he didn't go because he took care of himself. That's fine. It's preseason. I don't give a shit. But
Right.
apparently, people thought it was Mozzie Smith because apparently the way the numbering is done with the Cowboys letters, the 5 and 6 in different ways, you can't tell. So 68 was getting blown up, which was Hudgens, and he got embarrassed. And a few people thought it was Mozzie Smith. Were like, Mozzie Smith sucks. It's like he wasn't even at the game.
Right.
So, yeah, I had to double check it too because at first I thought it was Mozzie Smith. I'm like, what the fuck? I thought he wasn't at the game. Why is he getting blown up? But,
Yeah.
he said he was sick.
And for
Why is he-
those who don't know, Huggins
oh.
is also the
Oh,
guy
yes,
that
Huggins.
pushed the Rams intern at the joint practices.
Good.
Yes, and that right there is a strike. That was strike 2, and then this is strike 3. Like, you didn't get strike 1. You went past strike 1
Yeah.
and you pushed the intern over there. So this is strike 3. To
Yeah,
me,
even
he's
Cowboys
fine.
players are like, "What are you doing?"
And also,
he's
too,
fine.
y'all heard about Mozzie Smith and his peanut allergy reaction.
Oh yeah,
That's what we were just talking about.
yeah.
Well, I know. I'm just saying.
All right.
Yeah, we heard about it.
Yep.
We were just talking about it, you ding dong. What the hell?
Yeah, we misidentified it
Yes,
as
know,
milk, I
just
think,
called
but
you a
we did.
ding dong. That's my word I use for my kids because it just.
Well, no, I just
change
saying.
words.
I
You can't use
was
swear
in-
words all the time around the little ones, so you got to change words up around. So I call them a bunch
No,
of
Right.
I wasn't in the
Mhm.
conversation, so
You weren't in the conversation. You were sitting right there staring at us with your mouth wide open. Your mouth. Good God.
Mm. It's sad. Oh goodness.
You
But
were
yeah,
right there. What else were you doing? Like sitting there just drooling over Joe Burrow's haircut? Like, what the hell, man? Come on.
I was studying over the Cowboys running back depth chart.
Yeah, it's not anything to be sitting there drooling over. It's not. It's terrible. It's the running back room from hell. That's what it is. Like there
Pretty
is
close.
no
I hate to tell you,
defense.
I don't see how the Cowboys make the playoffs this year.
No, they're not going to
see
make
it.
the playoffs. I don't see it at all unless they trade for a top tier running back. It's not going to happen because I can tell you right now that every defense they play this year is just going to focus on sacking Dak because they're not going to respect this running game in any way. And there's no reason to. There's no one there you need to respect. Now, Rico Dowdle can have a good run here and there. He can sneak up, he can get a couple because they're not going to respect it that he can actually get a couple of good runs, but they're going to snuff him down after 2 or 3 good runs, and that's going to be it for the rest of the game. And it's good. They're putting all of it on Dak's shoulders.
Oh, they are.
They're setting him and McCarthy up to fail. And they're going to. It's going to happen.
Agreed.
Even my father-in-law, who's a Jets fan, goes, "Oh, yeah, you ready for Dak and the Cowboys this year?" I was like, I have no faith in Dak whatsoever. He will not bring us to the promised land. It will not happen. I've made peace with that. I go, I still will root for my Cowboys because I am a fan. I will still root for them, but there is no way Dak will ever bring us a Super Bowl. It will not effing happen. And McCarthy will get fired at the end of this season. He goes, wow. I go, well, I'm a realist. I understand what it is. I know what's going to happen.
And that's the thing. And that's a really good conversation. I'm glad y'all had that because that's the reality of the situation. I wouldn't say necessarily apathy, but for the first time in probably, almost 30 years where Cowboys fans are like, this is what it is. We don't care what happens in the regular season.
I think you saw it too at Oxnard. Oxnard wasn't full like it used to be.
No, it wasn't.
Dallas can't, or Dak can't take us to the next level. We know what's going to happen with so-and-so. We know what's going to happen with so-and-so. It's just like, there's no mystery anymore.
Like, you guys have known with your teams what you've got. You know what you've got, barring severe injuries. You know what you have.
Yeah.
Cowboy fans are always delusional. And I say that as a Cowboy fan of, hey, we've got a chance. Hey, we've got a chance. Hey, we've got a chance. You guys know when I gave up on Dak. And it was after the San Francisco game last year.
After San Francisco game.
On my fucking rant and just
Sunday Night Football.
Yes. Where I go, I'm done supporting this bum. I'm done. He's a bum.
And then
if he turns around and they end up, impressing everybody and winning the Super Bowl this year, I'll eat my hat. I'm okay. I'm perfect with that. I'll eat the crow. I will take second, third, and fourth helpings of the crow because we won the Super Bowl. That's
right.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing about it is just like Dallas could go 16-1 this year. It doesn't fucking matter until they
won't
win something in the playoffs. Then it's pointless.
16-1, be the number 1 seed, and then lose in the second round.
Or the first even, but yeah. Well, never mind. Sorry. I said, yeah. I realized after I said it, I was like, dumb.
Yeah, they lose in the second round. Their first game, they lose it immediately. And they probably get blown out too.
Yeah, I mean, they set all crazy. By Green Bay, they set all kinds of records last year. The youngest playoff team.
Like last year, you battle your way into the second seed. You battle your way into that position, and then you let Green Bay come in and just wax your ass like you didn't even deserve to be there. It's like, no, there's no fucking reason for that.
It's the thing that pissed me off.
I was not surprised. I was pissed, but I wasn't surprised.
The thing is that pissed me off about that is that the Lions gave them the 2 seed, and on that
they did.
On that Saturday
the Lion fans will say the officials gave them 2 seeds.
Oh,
very true.
Dan Campbell gave them that fucking
yeah. You had 3 chances, and you're like, okay, Dan, just stop.
It was Dan Campbell that did that. Yes.
Agreed. Yeah.
Okay, aggressive is good, but there's a point where you got to tap the brakes and go.
Right.
Okay.
Like, we get it.
All right. Well,
Mhm.
okay. Now that I'm pissed off, we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break, and we'll be back here with the gumbo here in just a minute.
Fair enough.
That's good. That's good. Man, that's good. That's what you call gumbo. Poor man gumbo.
And welcome back from the break as we're ready to wrap up here at the end of the segment. We had a great conversation so far, but we've got a couple of little small things we wanted to wrap up here in the gumbo. And to get that started off, I'm going to send that over to Jeff. Jeff, go ahead and kick us off here in the gumbo. The first ingredient you have to throw in.
All right, so we'll start off since I am a golf fan post major championships, and so we just wrapped up the FedEx St. Jude Classic, and Hideki Matsuyama nearly blew the first game of the first tournament of the FedEx playoffs. He got a birdie on 17 and then also birdied 18 for uh, extra measure. Uh, Super exciting golf. And Xander Schauffele was right there. Victor Hovland was right there. Sky Scheffler was right there. Just
He had the big names up at the top. It was
as the FedEx
very,
playoff should be.
very good weekend for golf.
Yes, absolutely. And so also too, people were looking for Hideki to finally break out, and it finally happened this weekend. So
Well, I mean, this is
kudos
the first
to him.
match that he's won since the Masters, like what, 2, 3 years ago?
Yeah, the Masters that he won was in April of 2021. So
And he hasn't won a
honestly,
match since then. He's been close, but how many top tens has he sniffed since that point? I mean, he has not played well since that point.
so the ironic thing about Hideki is that he did win in LA um, earlier this year
I
in
know.
February, but that seems like a year ago.
Yeah,
But
that one didn't count.
and so so the reason I know he's done nothing since then is that I'm in a fantasy golf
Of course
league.
you.
I was invited by
Did you see the way he looked at me after
I know. He took some real offense to that.
I hit a nerve there.
it's a long story. Anyways,
I'm sorry, Jeff.
you have to get points to finish in the top
Is
5.
he on your team and you're bitter about it?
No, he is not on my fucking team. I didn't pick Hideki. So the thing is that Hideki had
So you
done
haven't
jack
picked a
shit.
winner?
He had done jack shit since Riviera until this weekend, and so he hadn't been in the top 5. He hadn't been in contention at all. So it was good to see Hideki play good golf again, and it's been a long time coming. And I think
What's
Hideki
surprised me the
Matsuyama
most?
is a Hall of Fame golfer.
What
I
surprised me the
believe.
most about his
But he's not on
performance
your
this
team.
weekend was that it is about his caddy and his coach being in the car
They're
wreck.
robbed in London.
They were robbed in London. That's what it was. They were robbed, and they weren't there with him. Was it just the last on Sunday? I can't remember if it was Sunday the whole
Correct.
tournament.
It was Sunday. It was Sunday.
So Sunday he didn't have his caddy or his coach because I heard they were talking. They were saying, "Hey, there's a communication issue."
Oh, you mean
between
for the
him
whole
and-
tournament in? You mean for the whole tournament in Memphis?
I thought they were talking about this weekend.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Sunday,
Yeah, Right, yeah. So he would Robin London. He had a different caddy the entire tournament. You're exactly right. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And
Okay.
so it wasn't his normal caddy that he had. It was
Correct.
a guy there in London. So they had communication issues of he doesn't speak English very well. So having that issue, not having your guy there, and then still able to come out and win it's been so long since he's won. To me, that was should have been the biggest story of the whole tournament.
Sure.
Is just he was able to rise to the occasion, when it comes to this. Hey, and you know what? If that's what happened, you should hire this new caddy. Have him come along with him.
Even with the
That's
miscommunication.
what I would do. I mean, strike while the iron's hot. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, also too, which is crazy, is that he was up by 4 or 5 shots throughout the entirety of the tournament. Then over a span of probably an hour and a half, over 4 holes, he went 4 over, and it looked like he was going to actually blow this thing, and someone like Victor or Xander was going to come in and win.
Xander's
But
gonna be on there. Xander's been so hot lately. He really has.
exactly.
Getting that monkey off his back, he has been hot.
Yeah, and then Hideki went birdie, and then called it a day. And so you have to give Hideki a lot of credit there. But that was some serious, surprising drama that I saw on Sunday afternoon. So that's all I had to
And
say for the gun.
that's what I like seeing with that is that until we get the next Tiger, which everybody keeps trying to anoint the next Tiger, I don't want to anoint Scotty Scheffler as that just yet, even though he is the best golfer in the world. He
Right.
proved that at the Olympics by winning gold. But until then, to be able to have some, have these competitions where unless you have somebody come in and just dominate like Tiger did, you've got to have craziness. You got to have people coming in through that, or you need to have that rivalry like Tiger and Phil Mickelson had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or even singing Mickelson.
Mm-hmm. Well, Singh, you only had for just a little bit. I mean,
you did,
Singh was older when he finally got good.
Yeah,
he was old. So I mean, that's why I was hoping with Xander Schauffele starting to emerge this year after finally winning the championship. Maybe you can get this Xander Schauffele, Scotty Scheffler, which will blow people's minds because they're going to confuse the hell out of old golf fans of who the hell these guys are with their names being so close. But those could be 2 guys you could see that, a budding rivalry, even though they're very cordial with each other. But yes, very good golf, very good, enjoyable there. I wanted to bring up that the English Premier League is back.
Yes, it is.
The long-suffering Arsenal fans can rejoice.
Yes. I mean, we have just been suffering for what, a month and a half?
Now.
2 months since it ended. And we're back, got a big 2-0 win, 2-0 win. Who was it they were playing?
Boo.
Yeah. I only got to watch a little bit of the game.
They played Wolverhampton.
Oh, Wolverhampton.
That's right. Yeah, that's why I didn't remember who it was because they don't matter. Wolverhampton doesn't matter.
Oh, be nice on the Wolves.
No, not nice on the Wolves at all. So we beat Wolverhampton 2-0. Saka able to get a goal, and the team looked good. But yeah, watched a couple of games. Newcastle getting a win there. West Ham not looking great starting out. Nottingham Forest able to get it early, gave up a goal late.
No, they need if Nottingham Forest wants to beat something, they need to beat Bournemouth. So tell that to your relatives that like the tree.
There's 2 of them. There's only 2 of them. and they root them because they say that Nottingham Forest are the New York Jets of the English Premier League.
So Sucky
Oh,
never win
they're
anything.
even worse.
Very
They're
true.
even worse than the Jets.
No, I know, I agree. And
Yep.
last year I gave a olive branch over for them to come join Arsenal, and they said they'd rather join the Italian league. They said they would join the Italian league if Nottingham Forest got relegated.
Right.
Okay,
They almost
then join
did.
the Italian league. We'll see you later.
Mhm.
Yep. But Arsenal was able to get the win, so always good there.
Good for Arsenal. I like to see them reclaim the prominence that I had when I was a youth.
Yeah, I know. And I look forward to that as well as a long-wasted Arsenal fan who's just been waiting so many years for them to get back to the top of the league. It's been a long, arduous wait, and yeah, we just, I feel for all of my fellow Arsenal fans who just been waiting so long for this. It's been rough.
Still haven't won
Really,
though.
really, really rough. It's like being a Cincinnati Bengals fan. It's really,
Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
But yeah, that's all underway. And
Well, good luck to Arsenal.
yeah, just to
Good
bring up
luck
the,
to Arsenal.
last thing I want to bring up is, we've been off for a couple of weeks. We've been off for a little bit, so we weren't able to talk about the Olympics. And of course, USA was able to get the top medal count. We unfortunately tied with China in gold because we need to be better at table tennis and diving.
Fuck the Olympics.
Yep. Moving on.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. Fuck the IOC.
We got the gold. That's all we
Yep.
need.
We got our gold rowing medal and our gymnastics gold. We're good. And the
Caleb,
volleyball and soccer golds. We're good.
You don't have any
And
random
Ledecky
thing.
is a machine. She's a
Ledecky
fucking
is a machine.
Yeah, Nick
Yes,
Fink was at a
well-
local Waterburger, the silver medal winner in the 400, I think it was.
Fuck him. Fuck the Olympics. He doesn't matter. I can get a Whataburger.
It's over now.
And Noah Lyles in his battle with the USA men's basketball team.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck him too. We won't hear him in 4 years.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Congrats
No,
on
it
him being the
doesn't matter.
fastest man in the world, though.
Hey, good for him being the fastest man in the world, but all that matters is 2 years we'll get to the best Olympics, the Winter Olympics, and we can get into that because that's what I'm really looking forward to.
In the 2026 Olympics,
It's bobsled time.
will be in
yeah.
fucking what the hell is this? Where the hell are they at?
Yeah, they're in some weird location this next year, I feel like.
Some stupid ass place in Italy. Okay.
Oh, so we'll be in the Alps. Okay.
Yep.
It's fine. Doesn't matter because USA curling
Oh.
coming in and dominating
Yep.
that shit.
Because the
Swing on.
Olympics don't fucking matter.
Mhm. They're done with it, at least. That's why they don't matter. Moving on to the football.
Exactly.
Yes.
Time for football. Well,
American
I think
sports.
that's all we actually had here for the gumbo. Not a lot left over because there's not a lot of sports to talk about at the time. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining us. Thanks for waiting here for the little break. We'll be back again next week, and we look forward to talking more college football and more NFL football as that's getting started and getting underway. And I thank everybody for joining us. Follow us on all of our social media platforms. And for Jeff Amos, for Caleb Colford, this is Chris Porter. We'd like to thank you all for being here for Next Round Sports, and we'll see you next time for the next round. Cheers.
There's